Okay, we've looked at finding XY coordinates from a polar coordinate. Now let's look at finding a polar coordinate from an XY coordinate. So I'll start off with basic coordinates straight off the unit circle. So if you have a coordinate that's straight off the unit circle, on the unit circle the radius is 1, and 1/2 negative root 3 over 2. In terms of radians, that is 5 pi over 3. Or you could say radius of 1 and 300 degrees. Okay. If you have a coordinate that's from the unit circle, but you have a different radius, so if you have, like, let's say you have 5/2 and negative 5 root 3 over 2, we're looking in the same spot. That's 1/2 negative root 3 over 2 multiplied by 5. So my radius is 5, and you still got the same radian. Could be 300 degrees. All right, now let's look at one where it's not a coordinate that you would see on the unit circle, but it is a coordinate where your x and your y are the same value. So let's do a review on if you have a right triangle where the legs are the same, then this is a 45, 90, and your hypotenuse will be that leg times root 2. All right, so this coordinate would be in the 4th quadrant because it's positive, negative, and it's right in the middle. So you have root 7, negative root 7, and your hypotenuse would be that leg of root 7 times root 2, and that is root 14. Okay, so that would be your radius, so root 14. And since it's right in the middle, we know it's one of those pi over 4s. That's 7 pi over 4. Or you could say root 14, and the degree is 315. Let's do another one like that. Say we have negative 15, negative 15. All right. So we know that's 3rd quadrant. Negative 15, negative 15. And this is right in the middle of my 3rd quadrant. And also the hypotenuse would be my leg times root 2, or just 15 root 2. And so the radius will be 15 root 2, and the degree, or radian, the radian would be, 5 pi over 4, or the degree would be 225 degrees. Now let's look at one where we have, it's not on the unit circle, but this is a triple, or a right triangle triple. This is 8, 15, 17. I'll change this to a positive for now. Okay. So we go 8, 15. Well, 8, 15. So my radius will be 17. All right, so what we've got to find is theta. So we know our radius is 17, but we've got to find the degree or the radian. So to find the degree, if you remember, we can use the inverse trig functions. We can do any of the three. We could do sine inverse. That's opposite over hypotenuse, so 15 over 17. And that would give me second sine 61.9 degrees. Okay. 61.9 degrees. Or if we wanted to make that a radian, you could. 61.9 times 3.14 over 180. 61.9 times 3.14 divided by 180. That is 1.08. And so this is also an answer. All right, let's look at one more like that, but a different quadrant. Let's go negative 24, 7. All right. So if we go negative 24 up 7, we're going to be in the second quadrant. So negative 24, 7, and this is a 7, 24, 25. So there's my radius. Okay, so now let's find what this angle is. So sine inverse 7 over 25. Give me 16.3 degrees. That's that angle right there. Well, since we're in the second quadrant, my angle has to be somewhere between 90 and 180. And so what we can do to figure out how many degrees is it from here to here, we'll just say 180 minus 16.3. That gives me 163.7 degrees. So my polar coordinate would be 25, 163.7 degrees, or convert that to a radian. That would give you 2.86. Okay, this will be our final example. This is not a triple. It's not on the unit circle. And so when we graph it, negative 8, negative 13, we need to do Pythagorean theorem to find our radius, or hypotenuse. Our radius squared, so 64 plus 169 r squared. That is 233 equals r squared, and then do that. Take the square root of it. So square root r is 15.3. Okay. All right, so now we need to find our degree. Well, we got to find this angle right here. And I know on my answer, my degree is going to be between 180 and 270. So if I can figure out this degree right here, I could just add it to 180, and that will tell me how far we've gone. All right, so let's do tangent. Tangent, inverse, opposite over adjacent. So that would give me it gives me 58.4 degrees. Well, if we add that to 180, that'll be my answer. I get 238.4 degrees. So my answer is 15.3. It's my radius. My degree, 238.4 degrees. Or if we put that in radians, that gives me 4.16. So both of these are correct. Okay, here are 5 questions that I want you to add to the ones you've already done, 1 through 10. These I want you to go from an XY coordinate to a polar coordinate.